Socialism is often referred to as the flat earth theory of the economic world. This is because, similar to flat earthers, any proof that socialism has never been successful can easily be spun into a reason why we should definitely try it again. It'll totally work this time, guys, I swear. And when you use homemade lasers to figure out the exact curvature of the earth is exactly what NASA said it would be, it must be that NASA has a spy in the group who is compromising your experiments, and Bobby has been acting real suspicious lately. We never actually tried it before. It wasn't real socialism because the society in question wasn't a perfect utopia, aka moving the goalpost. But aside from this, there is one strong argument for socialism perhaps being the way to go. One reason why we maybe should seize the means of production and redistribute the wealth amongst the people. That reason is modern Pokemon. The new Pokemon game is shit, and we all knew it would be shit. If I went to a primitive island tribe, and I called myself a prophet, and they asked me to prove it, I would have said, Pokemon Legends ZA is going to be shit. And when the game came out, I would have been their king. This is not a review. Read the title, it's not a review, it's a roast. A lot of die-hard fans, are going to pull the ripcord on the excuses generator. Oh, let people enjoy things. Oh, it's worth what people are willing to pay for it. Yeah, no, those excuses aren't valid when the company in question is waving their giant billion-dollar cock around and destroying any competition under the guise of protecting their IP. The mega evolutions range from, okay, I can see it, to what the actual fuck were the artists on. You've already heard people making a fuss about Dragonite, and this one was probably made when the artist was so high on painkillers from working overtime on a game that was most likely made in a month that he was like, what if we put, man, what if we put these wings on his head? What if we put these wings on his head? Look at this goofy ass nigga Electros. Big lip motherfucker, am I right? Am I right? Big lips, so moist and wet and inviting. I need to use the bathroom real quick, guys. I'll be right back. Oh my god! Maybe this game isn't so bad after all. Let's look at some other Oh my lord, Arceus! Okay, I was just joking about the artist being high as fuck before, but I think they actually were when they made Mega Starmie. Why the fuck did they just... I saw a TikTok of this thing running at the screen and I nearly pissed myself. Is this how white women feel in the UK at night? Why did Scrafty throw on a clan hoodie and call it a day? Why is Mega Scolipede looking at me like that? The ones I brung up are just the ones I found to be the most funny or stand out the most. I could talk about the others, but most of these are like Chandelure, original Pokemon, but Mega. Dynamax is better anyway. The biggest reason why everyone who's anyone is talking about Pokemon is quite simply because the graphics of ZA look like dog shit. In the development of the game and when rooting through the files, it looks like it turns out that the game's map is one giant model. This makes sense for an open world game if you actually know how to make something like this work. The Pokemon devs clearly don't. I don't know why they wouldn't just stick with what worked on the 3DS and Sword and Shield with segments divided by loading screens. It will be way faster and the buildings wouldn't have to look like PNGs slapped on cubes. The Nintendo Switch 2 is about comparable in power to a base PS4. This is Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This is Pokemon Legends ZA on a comparable console a decade later. What the fuck am I looking at? I used to clown Sword and Shield, but now I realize that we had it good back then. Yeah, the tree textures looked edited in Microsoft Paint. Yeah, the Pokemon models may or may not have been ported straight from the 3DS, but you know what? It ran at 60 frames, and the buildings looked decent and not like the low poly ones in racing games that the devs put in because they were counting on you to go flying past them at 200 miles per hour and not actually stop to take in the scenery. And if you played it in handheld mode and were legally blind, you could just barely gaslight yourself into not feeling extreme buyer's remorse because you got a shiny Zigzagoon. Oh my god, guys, I have a shiny Zigzagoon. Yes. Now, the only way to justify buying Legends ZA is making content about it and using it as a tax write-off. In conclusion, the open world Pokemon games aren't it, and I hope Nintendo loses every single IP lawsuit that they ever get into. At this point, I hope the Pokemon company starts investing heavily into AI, not because I necessarily like AI, but because the public backlash they'd receive would be so satisfying to watch that I'd be able to photosynthesize off of it like an oak tree.
I was just a kid in the suburbs doing alright. Then I became a young nigga overnight. When I catch low it's gonna be on site. 4.5s and ARPs. Up in the trenches with my new family. And a gang that's built on loyalty.